Alongside Rob Lewis, I'm Austin Price for the 2-minute drill. Rob, simply put, embarrassing. A 34-7 loss to Kentucky. Not that the loss is embarrassing. Kentucky's not a bad football team, but it's how they lost.
They're blown out in a series that they have dominated.
Yeah.
Forever, and especially at home. And the storyline for today is obviously going to be number 2. I mean, two bad picks that both returned for touchdowns, a fumble, 2 fumbles, one that he lost. Lucky he didn't lose the other one. And that is the storyline. What does Jeremy Pruitt do there? I mean, he benched him for one series. JT Shrout came in and promptly threw an interception of his own.
It sure sounded like, though, after the game, though, that he was opening the door up to a JG return. He said the fumble was on Ty Chandler. The first pick was more of a Jim Chaney call. He seemed more frustrated with Jim Chaney than he did Jarrett Guarantano.
I thought that was the most interesting comment out of a press conference where he really didn't show a lot of emotion, was when he questioned the call.
I don't disagree. A 54-yard out is what he called it. It's more like a 34-yard out. But the point is that's a long throw for only a 4-yard gain.
I agree. And like I said, I thought that was the most interesting take from his press conference. He said, it's on me to make sure that everybody in our organization knows what I want to do and make sure it gets done.
Tennessee did not play those young kids until things were well out of hand. But you can see, just them running around running routes that Callaway, Weidman obviously made the nice, tiptoe catch over there on the sidelines on the ball by Harrison Bailey, and then Jimmy Callaway and Jimmy Holiday looked the part out there running around.
Yeah, I mean, from what we're seeing from the veterans, I mean, Brandon Johnson had a nice catch today, but outside of that, I mean, Tennessee, obviously Guarantano did not play well, but he didn't get a lot of help from his receivers. It didn't look like they either.
Tennessee able to run the ball at times today. Tennessee's lone touchdown drive came on a 14-play drive where they ran it down their throat. Eric Gray had 9 carries on that drive. He had 128 yards. So, again, when you literally basically want to run it every play, you're probably going to be able to run it to an extent. So I don't want to give the offensive line too much credit, but I thought at times today Tennessee's offensive line played pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it was the best the offensive line has looked, except for maybe early in the second half at South Carolina. And that's the lone bright spot for me, is how they were able to run the ball. And Kentucky's a good run defense. 3rd in the league coming in, averaging 83 yards a game is what they're giving opponents. So, there's no silver lining on a day when Kentucky comes into your house and just beats you, blows your doors off. But, if there is one, that's it.
Now Tennessee gets Alabama rolling to town next week. I mean, I can see make the case for just sticking with the quarterback you have and getting through the Alabama game, getting into the bye, and then making a move. But if you're a Tennessee fan and if you're a 2.5 Men fan, Rob never had seen the show when I made the reference. Tennessee's version of Alan Harper is Jarrett Guarantano. He moved in, he's never moving out, and it just feels like that at some point you have to make a move. Like I know what Jeremy said post game, but you're going to lose a huge portion of this fan base if you trot 2 back out there, and they did it again today when they took him out and put him back in.
I've already written this. You're not beating Alabama with number 2 under center. Just start it now. You've got the bye week. It's 3 weeks to get your guy ready for the second half of the season.
Why not play multiple guys next week? Just see how they do.
I agree. I hate it for the kid. I think anybody that has dealt with Jarrett, he's a high character guy. We're in year 5, and what you saw here today, it's not getting it.
Well, Shrout comes in, he throws the pick, they yank him right back out. Maurer, obviously, they don't have any confidence in, and I understand why, because he puts them in bad positions. He had multiple chances a year ago, and I know he was a true freshman at the time, but he still had multiple chances a year ago to do something with it and regressed. Harrison Bailey,
he's missed all fall camp.
Missed all fall camp. But again, what do you have to lose?
That's where I am right now. Is it a throwaway season? Kind of. I'd find my quarterback in the future, or try to right now.
Yeah, because I think with fans, which they're going to have a lot less public outcry if you're at least attempting something.
Instead of Groundhog Day, doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, instead of insanity, which is what I'm calling it. For Rob Lewis, I'm Austin Price for the 2-minute drill.